We are recording.
Excellent.
Do we have any intro music?
No. No, we haven't stolen anything yet. What do we say about singing, Nathan?
More of it?
That it's exquisite torture.
Yeah. Those speakers I got, amazing. When those helicopters came in, Lincoln's Memorial last night, I turned my head because I thought something was coming through the window. All right, so last time, anyone want to update us? Anyone?
We semi-infiltrated a GSS facility.
It went from infiltration to assault real quick.
That's why I say semi-infiltrated, because they were either expecting us or they didn't buy anything that we were selling pretty much right off the bat. And we did, as Nate puts it, assault. Put it quickly, we disabled, we were able to knock out, I think it was like the first floor conference room area. We descended down to the third floor, which is where the main mainframes were. And we promptly got into a firefight with a little, seven, I think, GSS troopers.
Mm-hmm.
And Tanaka was really pissed because, well, one, we kept nearly destroying the mainframe, and at one point we did wind up, or someone wound up accidentally disabling it before he could complete his download. Meanwhile, Emma ran off, and she's doing her own thing, and she downloaded some data, the full nature of which we haven't really gone into yet.
Right.
And on our way out, we were confronted by three ships full of very heavily armed, let's call them relief for the now killed garrison. And Tanaka attempted to negotiate his way out of it.
They were there because he was double crossing us and
Right.
selling us up the river.
Yes.
But
it didn't really
he managed
work
to
out.
do it without tipping us off that he double crossed us. So we fought to get him back.
And we did, minus a left hand, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's too bad.
Yeah, we all feel terrible for him.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were...
But most important,
Yes.
whatever device he was using on his...
yeah, that was crushed.
Yes.
So the only data of any use... Oh,
we
left it...
found out.
Yeah, so Emra was going to try and repair it.
Right.
When we left off. And we managed to get out of the system, and we were going to take a safe jump.
So that's right before... because we were sort of like, it was like 11:30 at night, and we just sort of like accelerated through some stuff.
Yeah.
So let's go back to rewind a little bit. So you guys are in Talon.
Yes.
Kyra's
shuttle. Well, she's not here to contradict us. So.
Exactly. Kyra's shuttle. Who's piloting?
She is, and Emma's co-pilot.
Okay. So your plan was to take the fissure floor as low and fast as you can go to not be detected? That was your plan?
Well, yeah, because we don't want to get blasted out.
And the outrageous fortune was like on the other side of the moon or something like that?
Yeah, it was keeping kind of on the dark side of the moon, so to speak.
So you have that GSS cruiser that's in, I guess, low orbit that was firing down on you guys. So to avoid being detected and to make sure you don't crash into the side of this thing as you're piloting through, let's just have you roll plus metal.
Oh, joy. Metal?
Metal.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the one for piloting.
Okay. I was told there were dice.
Extra dice.
Do you want to like a hard... Yeah, hold on. Stand by.
Yeah, hard surface to actually roll on.
Alright, I think I'm switching the character boards. I don't think I can do the deep one anymore.
What, you don't want to just do all this all the time?
No.
That was what
I didn't
Chris
want
was
to do that
attempting to
after
do in,
doing it once.
In my game, yeah.
in your game.
Want to go to the British accent?
Oh, no, this will work. Is this yours? Or?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, well, we've got
This will come along.
alternatives on the way, but I think it's going to take up more space, so I'll just move these.
Oh.
Oh.
Nice.
That's a 7 because I got +1
excellent.
metal.
All right.
That's a good enough.
Yeah. So you've maneuvered your way through the crags and protrusions of the fissure floor, and you've made it out of past the horizon of where you think the cruiser can see you.
Woohoo!
So now what do you do?
So if we're confident that we're not gonna get shot in the next 5 seconds, we just want to take the most direct route to the outrageous fortune and get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We want to.
Kona set a course. Sure thing.
You arrive. You've landed in your I guess your launch bay on the outrageous fortune, and Warren
Yes.
is standing there patiently waiting for you to disembark. So.
So while they were, I was.
So what were you doing
assuming
while?
I was there the whole time.
Yeah.
I was. The idea, like the archetype for my character, is a clandestine technocrat.
Mhm.
So, the way that he carries out like clandestine activities is by like sabotaging self-defense like programming, like making like elevator shafts fall, like things like that. So I'm not one of those like clandestine folks that do like go do wet work, and like I actually didn't even take a weapon. I was planning on picking something up along the way.
Sure.
So the whole time that they were running this mission, I was not sure. As far as like for narrative reason why, I don't know if I knew about the contract with GSS because that's the faction that he's aligned with, and that's where he was trained and he was risen from obscurity because of a GSS.
So the original contract for this go grab stuff was with the Tanaka faction.
Was with Tanaka, right?
So
or against GSS.
And he seemed like he was pretty non-specific about who we were up against.
Right. So this the OOC the Tanaka rep, right, sort of went behind, tried to make it out for just himself. He just went to GSS and said, hey, so whether whether your character knows of his betrayal or not is completely up to you.
And that's what I was thinking about. Even to make things interesting, I could have a contract with GSS to infiltrate the group to investigate Tanaka and the contract that was against them, because there could have been like counter surveillance or something like that. And I would maybe like thinking about like long-term planning about affiliating with a group in spite of my like GSS like contacts or whatever.
Sure.
So this time I was making like bugs and programming for like ships and things like that to make life support systems and like rebreathers and air systems on spaceships not work, to like work on like future assassinations in the future. Sure. So things like making faulty programs so when people kick in like faster than light travel, it will like ignite fuel stores or something like that to try to make things like
really wholesome stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, do you guys just like walk by him, or do you say a few words?
It's more come on, Mr. Tanaka, let's get you down to the med bay. Yeah.
So I'll see you guys coming in looking like hammer dog shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's about right.
Bits and pieces of you everywhere. So the mission went less than well.
It was a little hairy. We got most of the boss back though, so
It wasn't too bad.
No one bothers me for the next 4 hours, please. And Emma's just gonna walk off straight to her manufactory.
Okay.
And she'll even though there's I assume there's automated pocket doors, she finds a way to slam it. And just light up a do not disturb, just slaps a do not disturb sign on top of it.
Don't mind her. She's a bit moody at the moment.
I'm taking the Tanaka, the busted Tanaka wrist data center with me.
Okay.
To try and work on it.
Yeah. So you just basically take a knife and just rip his sleeve and just tear it off and take that with you.
I thought it was Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's like in his sleeve.
Okay. So yeah, I took that.
So the ship itself,
Mhm.
that doesn't belong to Kyra. It's just the shuttle that belongs to Kyra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just the show you used to go from the outrageous fortune
Right.
down to the surface.
That's her baby.
Yeah, that's hers. That's her. It's class 3, if you want to say, and it has what does it have? It has a forward-facing laser that only the pilot can fire. It has.
Yeah, I've got it.
so
I've got it, Chris.
It's armed.
Sealed, yeah.
It's
It's
controlled, sealed, armed. It's got an attached laser cannon, class 2 heavy weapon, destructive, clumsy, breaching laser, a plasma, and she's got a plasma pistol.
So both her character and Josh's character have the upgrade thing. So if you want to, any piece of technology, they can add an upgrade to it. So like
Temporarily.
temporarily. So
Yeah.
like stealth, like the last one, that's not going to last 24 hours, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so
but
depending on the situation.
so like if you were upgrading like a weapon, you'd be able to add like a limited amount of uses to the weapon.
I have 2 kits, so maybe like if there's downtime, integrating a kit into my like costume or whatever isn't that?
Well, I think
It's-
upgrade is
yeah,
purely
upgrade is-
temporary.
Yeah, it's purely
Okay.
temporary.
The idea is that it
augmentations.
gives
If
you a
want,
degree of
I don't know how that would work,
flexibility.
yeah.
yeah, if you want something, if you want to like trade up on something, that's an acquisition roll when we're in port somewhere.
Right. So like just think of it as like if you're adding stealth to a ship or something, like you guys like lugged in this giant battery pack to supply the power for it, and then you only get 4 hours out of it
Yeah.
before it loses juice.
Okay.
So yeah, as far as the ship goes, you guys have your separate areas. Did you have an area?
Yeah, like a secure workspace. So it's like a monitoring and tracking station.
Okay.
So, and that's something else that I can do. I could have set up. I'm kind of liking the idea of surveilling on Tanaka. So while they were gone for the 45 minutes or whatever, however long it took them to go down to the planet, have fun, and then come on back. I could have put some surveillance, like integrated some surveillance.
You like plug this room and things
yes.
like that.
Yeah, and common areas and things like that.
So this is sort of hidden surveillance equipment. So I didn't actually put that on the ship sheet. Would that be in the helm area, engineering area, quarters area, or cargo bay?
Maybe the cargo bay and Tanaka's room, like Tanaka's quarters.
Yeah, that's not like specific,
Okay.
but it could work in there. We just need a location for
No,
it.
like
so
not your like your workspace.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where would
I'm
that
sorry.
be located?
Yeah. Maybe in the cargo. Sorry, I was misunderstanding. Maybe the cargo area, and it could
Sure.
be like so.
You pulled out like a corner and you that we're not using.
Yeah.
Because your workspace isn't big enough for it to really affect our ability to transport cargo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in the cargo space. Because part of that the class 2 equipment that I got was like a transport container for people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be good in the cargo spot.
Mobile coffin.
It's just for keeping the beer cold.
Yeah.
Beer cold is not as warm.
Yeah, so we did the roll for trying to save Tanaka's hand last time, and that
It
didn't
did
work.
not.
No.
Not
It
go
did not
well.
work.
Oh, we're not gonna go back that far enough. We can
No,
figure
no,
that
it's
out.
gone. It's severed permanently. So you're moving forward. Like, what's your plan?
So we were gonna try and take a safe route out of the system, but still fast as possible, and sort of take a circuitous route to our destination, based on what we discussed last time. And that sounded like a good way to go, unless somebody's got another.
I thought
suggestion.
we were going to go somewhere else because we're not sure we actually have the information that Tanaka wants.
Well, that's part of the circuitous route thing. It
Oh,
gives us time
gotcha.
to work in transit.
Right. So Tanaka has the coordinates that you need to go to hand over the data that you stole. If you have the data that you stole,
We'll find out.
we'll find out.
So hold on. I thought I had.
So there was talk from.
Oh, that's right. Weren't we going to go
there was talk. So there was discussion about going to a planet that Kyra knew.
Mm-hmm.
like a beachy
So
tourist.
so now that you're on the Fortune, how does that discussion play out? Like where are you gonna go?
So were we gonna go lay low for a while? Was that?
I don't know. What do
I
you
think
want
we're
to do?
trying to figure out what we actually had for data before we went anywhere. I think that's why we're going to the planet.
Okay,
It's
so
actually trying to
somewhere
figure out-
nearby to lay low until we
Yeah.
get an answer to that question, and then we can.
Then figure out what we want to do. Because if we have nothing, then
So as
we
you're
have to figure
thinking
out-
about what you're doing, mind you, you're still in orbit of this moon with a cruiser on the other side looking for you. So
I think we can all agree that we want to get the fuck out.
yeah,
of
we
this
want to head
system
to this
at least.
other planet that Kyra knows.
You're like her childhood vacation ground or something.
yeah, something like that. So you're gonna make a fixed jump.
Yeah, safe
yeah, yeah. I think we want to go that route. We don't
Okay.
want to do the wild jump.
All right. So to this place that Kyra knows, it takes 2 days.
Okay.
2 days to get there.
I think we're all okay with that.
All right.
In the meantime, should I attempt to patch it up?
Yes. Patch up.
I think that's expertise.
What are you patching up?
The Tanaka's wrist unit to extract.
So are
any
you trying
data.
to extract it? I would say that if you're trying to.
I don't care if it actually I don't care if it collapses afterward. All I care about is the data on it.
So yeah, I want you to roll plus interface instead.
Okay. Kona, let's
2 days,
see.
my hand's probably fine now, right?
Are you gonna enlist anybody's help for this, or are you doing it?
So you had a hole in your hand.
Yes.
So
but he was gonna do. He rolled to.
I did
fix me.
Tanaka's.
you
I
did Tanaka. I
patched
don't
it.
think. Did you do hit? Usually
I
you
did patch
temporarily
up.
patch up.
I did patch up.
And then so you just bandaged it up.
Yeah, I think actually for this one I should ask for help because this one is known. So
I'm a technocrat too, so
yeah, you wanna
He could like help out.
help out?
What's the roll?
So,
what do you want to roll?
I
So
have-
actually, you don't even need to make a roll until we know.
Yeah,
what
let's
you're
see
doing.
if I can do it on my own and then see if I need help. So that is that's an 8 because I have +1 interface.
Okay.
So if you can roll,
Well, it's the same result, 7 and 9, right?
yeah, but the
It's
help out
plus
gives
one step, not +1.
Yeah, it's
roll.
plus
okay,
one step.
excellent. Very good. Very good.
So if he can
I'm
roll
thinking,
well enough, you can
Bump it up. to the
you can
next
bump
one.
it up to a complete success.
Yeah, get involved.
It depends on the stat. So
What is the
plus
stat?
2?
well, this is interface, right?
Yeah,
So-
interface would be +2, so that would be an 8 as well.
On a partial success, you incur a cost, complication, or hard choice in order to get involved, but you do bump it up by 1.
So we're basically it was a wash pretty much. Like
Well, no,
it-
it's that you got me to a complete success, but there's some cost.
Yeah.
So what would we like lose
And that's up for the
for the
GM to
price
decide.
of getting the data that we need?
You knew maybe Chris will go
GM.
easy on you.
Haha.
Yeah. So you get everything you need. You get everything.
Okay, great.
And I'm kind of keeping an eye on.
And there's no cost that we see at this moment.
No.
I'm keeping an eye on everything
Dangerous.
that is
No, that's
being,
my favorite. That's my
like,
favorite.
de-encrypted or whatever.
You don't know that anything went wrong.
Okay, yeah. So we got
So describe, like it's all there in front of you. What,
Okay.
what did you find?
so. I'm sorry.
Warren.
Warren and I are looking through this, and it is. I believe we alluded to it earlier. It is schematics of biological weapons, I think, and it would include everything from the schematics to the history of like who contracted for the development of these, the entire process of basically every major player in terms of the scientists who developed it, the divisions within GSS that contracted for it, whether or not it's a like openly known part of GSS, like they have like a biological weapons division, or if it's something on the slide that maybe one of the upper management is involved with.
Well, it's probably not like an overt biological weapons division, but more of a
well, I guess what I'm
non-standard solutions.
Well, yeah. So
research division.
what I'm saying is like how much we know how much of a secret it is within GSS itself. or if it's just like one director of GSS who's kind of they have their own little fiefdom.
So Warren, tell me, who contracted this biological weapon system?
You're talking about like department name. What is it that you're?
So who asked GSS who either within or outside of GSS asked them to research and develop this?
It was an internal GSS project, but they had taken components from other agencies. They had recruited people from outside of GSS, stolen information, all to benefit towards this project, this biological weapons project.
What was the goal? What was the end game?
Yeah, the end game was essentially that they would create they would have essentially the biological weapon system that they were developing, they would test it. They would test it on like an out of the way colony, and it would provide such a sense of panic, like they would blame terrorists or something. And then that would create such a sense of panic that everyone would go to GSS for some supposed protection scheme that they had cooked up just in case something like this came out.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Cool.
Nice. All right. So, on your trip, you got what you wanted out of the device. There was something else that you wanted to do, right?
Well, I wanted to investigate the data that I got from that Kona should have on him.
All right.
That he downloaded from the backup mainframe.
So, I'm just going to pick 2 people because we're not going to go through all of this. So, on a long journey, I'm just going to have you roll cramp quarters once. We're not going to go like we did that first session where it was like everyone. We'll just pick 2 people and roll a cramp quarters, just so. But I want you involved since you're a new character. So, cramp quarters. When you've been trapped or cramped in quarters, roll a 2d6. Choose a character or NPC trapped here with you, and on a 10 plus or whatever, I'll let you know after you roll.
Okay. Maybe it's Warren and Emra because they had to work on that project
together.
together.
Let's do that.
Sure. So just straight 2d6?
Yep.
That is...
it's not like it's only one person makes the roll. Okay.
Yeah.
6. So 6.
Failure.
So, describe what caused the newest hurt feelings or bad blood between you.
So you got it done, but you come out liking each other less.
I mean, go ahead.
No, I'm thinking, yeah.
I mean, I would say we have very different approaches to how we pull data and how we approach go through this access point or that access point. This kind of professional differences, and we both took it so seriously that we didn't really like the other at the end of it, even if we had a constructive.
Yeah, Warren's really controlling, and he's really has an intense personality. He wants to be in charge of things. He doesn't play well with others. So I could understand how him wanting you're pretty much at the helm of everything and doing a lot of the work, and I'm kind of backseat driving of that. Well, what's that about? That's interesting. Let's see that. And
And also Emra, I think that's totally works, especially because Emra has her she has Kona, her AI, hooked up to her ear set.
Mm-hmm.
So half the time she's talking to him, and half the time she's talking to you, and it's hard to tell who she's talking to. Mm-hmm. But so most of the time it's why are you talking to me? I'm busy right now. So she's she has a good working relationship with her AI, and so she's not really used to other people butting in.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense that they would come to loggerheads over that.
Nice.
So I ended up trying to broker a complete something unreasonable, a complete copy of all of the data to look at on my own, or something unreasonable.
So as you guys have completed extracting this data, you've gone over it. You're walking out of the room, rolling your eyes at Warren. You guys are, Star Trek jostled over everywhere, and you feel yourself coming out of your jump, and you're just in normal space now, and you're just, the engine's just cut out.
Oh, crud stunk. Oh, now what?
This
Don't
be good.
Emra's gonna head down to the engineering bay and see what's going on.
So as far as positions go, as far as like piloting, like navigation, helm, engineering quarters, where are you?
I figure I'd be in the med bay because Tanaka's gonna need some long-term care. Well, with losing the hand, he's not like intensive.
Did you like put him in a? Did you sedate him? Essentially, is that what we're?
I think he got a little unruly, and he just like slipped into corporate speak, and I couldn't understand what he was saying, so I ended up, sedating him at one point, but he behaved himself after that.
Pretty good.
Where are you?
I'd probably be, I don't know. Son was a pilot for a long, long time, but he's kind of like put that aside for a while, but he's still always kind of there.
Yeah.
So I think he'd be up in the cockpit area, kind of just watching,
Sure.
just to see if they're doing it right.
Yeah.
Like,
So
here's the question: do we have a crew in addition to ourselves?
did someone take a crew?
I
No?
didn't.
Okay, so we don't.
we have,
So you
Ky-
don't-
we have Kyra.
Yeah. You have Kyra. Yeah. You have Kyra. You also have what's Dave's character?
Nabek.
Nabek, yeah.
He's sulking in the cargo bay somewhere.
Yeah.
So I think Son will be up there with Kyra, kind of just keeping an eye on things,
Sure.
helping with maps and things like that.
So, what kind of sensor capability does the Outrageous Fortune have? Limited?
Budget?
You see, you see one on a panel just off your right from the chair you're sitting in, it turns red.
Look,
Bad things.
Yeah.
this is not good.
Yeah. So you got jostled in the chair almost enough to launch you out of it.
Part of the workspace is like surveillance for monitoring, but I don't know if that includes the ship. Like if that pushes past the ship. That's what I'm trying to look up. I don't know if the secure workspace for clandestine.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the exact cost on that.
Stand by.
Yeah, he printed out the entire rule book.
If it's unclear, we can say that like you might have the capability, but because it's still early
Secure
days.
sensors to track people and movements. Security cameras, monitoring stations, holding cells, and security doors.
And that sounds more like internal.
Yeah.
That sounds internal, yeah.
You know, maybe at a later point you can upgrade it and go external, but at this point,
Budget.
budget. Yeah.
Budget. Yeah.
So the light turns red.
It just says problem next to it. And it's not even like written on the console.
Not
There's
even-
like a label.
No,
Somebody
not even problem. Uh-oh.
Like there's literally a little handwritten note that Kyra just flattened on there. It's like if red problem.
Right. So you did have upgraded sensors, if you remember, on Talon, on Kyra's ship down in the cargo bay. So you as far as spatial relationship to where you are now, that's there just as a reminder. But yeah, do.
Going to tap the red screen? The bloody hell?
You tap the button and it turns off.
Look at that. I did something. It's been a while.
Problem solved.
Problem solved. Very good. Carry on. He just carries on.
So what do you do?
So did I feel the Star Trek jostle?
You did. You felt the Star Trek jostle, and you're not in. I guess what is it called? You're not in a jump anymore.
Yeah. All right. So that'd be pretty out of the ordinary. I assume we have in-ship intercom of some sort.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'll just do a broad call. What was that?
There was a red button, and I hit the button, and it's gone now. We're good. We're good.
So, wait. Was the jostle caused by the button being hit, or? I feel like that's an important distinction.
We're quite sure. I would ask Kyra, but she seems a bit busy at the moment. It's been a while since I've worked on a ship. I tapped the screen, it went away, and let's just say my ship never had these kind of problems, so I'm not quite sure. Seems to be good.
I feel unsatisfied by this answer.
It's fine.
So this is open comp, so both you guys hear this. So chime in whenever you'd like.
Oh my god, these bloody idiots.
You were in engineering anyways, right? That's where your
Yeah.
Emory was in.
Yeah, because the engine's cut out. So Emra's first move is to go to the engines and see what's wrong.
So instead of bitching, why don't you do something if you think there's a problem, Emra?
What the fuck do you think I'm doing?
I don't know, because you haven't told me what you're doing.
You're not my keeper. I am! No, you're not my keeper either. I am an independent human being. That's not what your parents... And Emra cuts him off. I'm going to the engines to investigate why they appear to have cut out after a normal, what should have been a normal, safe jump.
The engine's off? That seems bad.
So as you walk down to the engine compartment, right?
Mhm.
Describe what you see.
So, because we're on a budget, there's minimal, there's no casing. There's no protective rails or, barriers or, So imagine, engineering on, the Enterprise, but, with no, no, walled off area that's, the difference between, where people are supposed to be and where the engines are supposed to be. It's just, an open... there might be a sign just posted do not go beyond this space unless
sticky
qualified.
notes everywhere. Don't touch, don't touch.
You feel sick whenever you go in engineering, and OSHA would have a field day.
Like the crew
Yeah,
of Apollo
exactly.
13.
There's a sign on the wall says "Don't touch here" because if you touch there, it's a high frequency vibe and it puts your entire arm to sleep instantly.
So the engines are big. They take, because again budget. We don't have the capability for miniaturized, relatively speaking, engines. So they take up a giant chunk of the engineering bay.
Mhm.
But they're also deceptively simple. So a lot of that spacing is just to keep the heat exhaust from blowing itself up.
Sure.
So Emra is just because she's familiar with the system, she is going to utilize the jump jets in her suit that are embedded in her suit, and she's just going to be kind of taking a 360-degree whirl of what's wrong with the engine.
Sure. So as you walk in and you see this as you're floating around doing your thing, there's plasma discharges coming off this and going into the bulkhead and like zapping out every direction you see.
Okay. Do I have? Okay. Do I have the? Do I still have the EVA suit? Essentially, the EVA suit that we had from when we landed.
So it's basically like a almost like a skin tight diving suit, right? That you had on underneath your other clothes.
Yeah.
So you tell me if after a day and a half you would still be wearing that.
No, I would not be wearing that.
Okay, so you don't have that.
Okay. I guess my question is just around plasma discharge. Emma is familiar enough with engineering systems.
Mhm.
She would know if it's personally dangerous for her to be close.
Yeah, you will die if you get zapped by one of those.
Okay. So Emma's not going to be zapped by one of those. Does Emma have any idea about how urgent this is?
I think you would have to go to one of the engineering consoles and.
Would that be an assessment role?
Yes.
Okay. And what role is that? Is that just
Plus whatever the GM wants.
Exactly. Well, in this case, interface again.
interface again? Okay.
Yeah.
That is a 10.
Excellent. You know exactly what the problem is.
What is the problem?
Tell me.
The problem is that the Outrageous Fortunes engines, when we got the ship, we kind of had to buy it as is without an official inspection.
Mm-hmm.
And the engines, well, they're a bit past their warranty. And the ship itself had been doing mostly local runs within whatever star system that we got it up.
Sure.
And it has not done a full jump, or I should say 2 full jumps, for an extended period of time. And the stress of doing those jumps in the succession that we had them do it in completely overloaded the engines.
Blows. Because you're doing the calculations in your head, and it's about 34 years before you make it to your destination if you don't find a fix.
Yep.
So you, on 10 plus, you know what you need to fix it. What do you need?
So what I need is, first off, I need what's in my engineering kit,
Mhm.
which I have. But I also need to have protection. I need protection from, the plasma itself.
Sure.
And I also need more power. Like, with the ship, essentially, we need to shut it down except for life support.
Mhm.
We need to redirect all the power that we have,
Mhm.
because if we don't, I'm not going to be able to restore these systems like one by one in a certain way.
Sure.
So like once I repair the damage, we're not going to be able to achieve like full power again unless I get a specific order.
So what's the estimate? How long are you going to be dead in the water for?
I mean, it could be anywhere from, I'd say, 10 to 12 hours.
Feels like Apollo 13.
That was my original, that was my inspiration.
Good thing we have this, like, the futuristic example or version of hardtack and like saltines for like several years.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. All right, so you're making your fixes.
So I'm gonna go back to my my quarters, get the protection suit.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're gonna.
And I'm gonna inform the crew. Yeah.
So. Are you
now
gonna pipe in?
I'll use this
what's going on?
I'll use this up. Well, if I hear that and I know that he's going to be doing repairs, I'm going to use this opportunity to copy the data that they took from the GSS data.
Okay.
I'm keeping my own data I'm like Kona's keeping it, the data that I downloaded, so it's not like
accessible.
But the Tanaka's data that you were.
The Tanaka's stuff, yeah.
Yep. So were you enlisting any help from any of us? Or are you telling us to stay out of your way?
I'm telling you guys to all stay out of my way, especially you.
I mean, you don't want my help
No.
down there.
I don't want your help. I really. Oh my God! Why do you butt in? Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you ruining? God,
It's
give me
fun.
a fucking headache. Is there a mute button on
They
you?
were never like this when I was younger.
All right, pause. And another drink.
Yes, likewise. Cue the elevator music.
I think I'm just gonna do these as a bunch
Did
of.
you didn't put that in there, right?
What?
In the description of that YouTube thing, it recognized the song and put put all that stuff, like the legal stuff in there.
Oh, I
Like,
didn't even look at that.
It's yeah.
Uh-oh.
Lovely. That's great. All right, I'm actually gonna try hacking this up a bit. All right, and we're back.
Yeah.
All right, so technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
I'm working on it. Fucking people are so impatient.
Well, it would be nice if you go a bit faster. Just kidding.
Which would be easier if you shut the fuck up and get off my intercom.
Children, please.
Ooh.
But you said you needed more. Does the energy or the power in the systems that you need take away from the interface?
Well, yeah. So basically, yeah. You actually that's a
Going
good
dark.
point. So
But you gotta power down like everything, right?
everything except life support. So yeah, you're right. It would be so. I assume this is someone like knocking on the door to like the engineering bay. Hey, can you go a little faster?
So when the lights go out, I think Sam's just gonna be like, "What happened? I had a souffle in the oven. It's going to deflate."
So you're up in the cockpit, right? So you have systems powered down, everything except life support picks up this problem. As you do, you see jump out of light speed, that cruiser that you left back on the moon just coast right by you.
Like it didn't see it straight by us?
Huh?
Like it didn't see
It
us
doesn't
straight by
see
us?
you. It doesn't see you.
Are their engines dead too?
No.
Okay.
Of course not.
Ours are just special.
Could actually.
We very cleverly powered down and went dark to disappear from their sensors. Good job, team.
So I think San at this point would excuse himself from Kyra and make haste to find the rest of the crew and let them know that, yeah, we're being tailed, and they actually went right by us.
The computer monitor goes black in front of me as I'm frantically attempting to copy data, and I curse loudly and then go into the cargo bay.
I do say we must be careful and make sure they don't see us. 'Cause, we can't go anywhere. Sitting ducks, they say, where I'm from.
That's a terrible saying. What's a duck?
What do you mean? What is a duck?
Ducks are named
That
to
depends
Earth,
on how
and
you
we don't know
prepare
where
it.
Earth is.
Quack, 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 duck. Oh, good lord.
Is that one of those nature things? Where people go into
Goodbye.
the natural environment for God's
Sans
knows
already
what
walked away.
reason.
So how much longer do you have left?
Maybe about 2-3 hours.
Okay. So if you accept his help, you know it's gonna go faster.
We might even be happier, like, letting it take a little longer.
If they didn't see us, yeah.
Let the cruiser get farther away before
Yeah.
we power up and, I don't know, go in a different direction.
Okay.
Why would I take his help?
Just give me the option.
Okay, so at this point, Emma's probably been up for about, somewhere between 20 to 26 hours straight.
Mm-hmm.
And she's starting to, fade a bit. And, Kona has to keep... Hey there, sport! Come on! Keep it up! Keep it up! You're going great! And she's, at this point, she's already, written out the entire protocol about how to restore it. And, we're about 75-80% of the way there. So she thinks that even, someone like Warren couldn't screw it up. And so she's just gonna, kind of head over to, the cargo bay, bags under her eyes.
Sure.
It would be... I want to point out that what I'm about to say is purely a statement with regard to your technical excellence and not at all about you as a person.
Hold my breath, prepare to suck air in through my teeth.
I would appreciate your assistance in getting the ship up and running.
Well, she's growing so much as a person.
Under one condition, give me a job and leave me to it.
That I can do.
Okay.
I have written out the entire protocol. Follow it. Don't try to deviate from it. Don't come and bother me about it. Do what it says. And I'll rig up Kona to assist you. Try not to listen to him too much. If you want.
I'll go down and take a look at the list of the headers of the list of things that he did, crumple it, and get started. Okay, or that Emery started.
Yeah, it is immaculately detailed, down to which row and which column of which button to push in
Nice.
which sequence.
I will take great joy in tearing it up then.
Emma's gonna go to her quarters and just collapse and go brain dead for the next 6 or 7 hours.
However long you're alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what does that look like? Would you? I'm happy with just narrating. that.
So without Emra's instruction, just roll plus interface to see how you fare in repair.
Take this one where I rolled a 1 out before because I'm superstitious about dice. Oh, 2. Yeah, 4. 6.
6.
Put that one back in the bag too.
So
I will try to piece together Emery's instructions as it starts hissing and making noises at me.
all right. Yeah, they find you. And they try to hail you.
What? So this puts us back on their radar? Is it just
Huh?
plasma jets venting out of the side of the ship?
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
Somehow they detect that? Preposterous.
Not quite sure what to do here. I don't think we should surrender, but can't really move. It's a bit
Well,
tough.
They technically don't know. Well,
when do
I
they?
can
Like,
go.
do they? Is it like? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Is it like when our engines come back on that they
No,
detect
they're
us?
not on.
Okay.
They found you. They were patrolling. They knew you came out of your jump here
Okay.
at a specific point, and they were just circling over,
Oh, okay.
basically, patrolling, trying to find you, and they found you.
If we're I don't know how we're communicating this, but if I know about it, I can.
I think
talk,
at this
yeah.
point, we're all fairly together.
Emma's asleep.
Other than Emra's asleep.
Unless someone wants to wake her up.
How closely did the GSS crew identify you guys? Are they gonna
I
recognize?
mean, there were
are
a
they gonna
lot of
recognize you?
explosions and such. And, the
That-
people that are alive didn't get a close
So
look.
that was you. I don't forget. I just
scientist
myself
died.
down.
The scientists that could have ID'd us all got blown up.
I also jetpacked myself down to get Tanaka. They got a better view of me than perhaps you.
All right, I can try talking to them.
Another alternative is I could go out. They haven't seen me.
That could work.
Fair point. I can go with that. Shall we wake the crazy one up and let her know what's going on?
Best to let her sleep.
I was going to say I'd be happy to wake her up.
Well, no, you can let her sleep. It's fine, I'm sure. When things start blowing up, she will be right there with us.
So I'll ask if I can have some privacy in the cockpit or the intercom, and I can return their hail, and I'll have my badge and my GSS badge and credentials ready to have conversation with them, and I'll I'm not gonna disclose like who I am or what we're doing unless I suspect that they kind of have a hunch that we're who they're looking for, which would make sense if we're the only ship in the region and they're tracking a ship.
So how do you and you react to him saying, "I'd like some privacy"?
We're gonna want to listen in.
Yeah, of course.
So what do you?
I'll return. I'll open the comms and I'll greet them and kind of see the like how aggressive they're going to be initially.
Okay. This is the okay. So the commander of the ship comes on and he asks, all of you will put your hands against the bulkhead, power down. Well, you already powered down. Put your hands against the bulkhead and prepare to be boarded.
Okay, yeah. So not warm. I will. I'll take out the badge and credentials again and like hail him as a commander and like showing him like the authority as a commander.
Okay.
Be kind of deferential to him. And see if that like changes his disposition at all.
What are you doing aboard this ship?
Tell them we need urgent repairs and they should come over and help us fix the ship.
Are you whispering through the?
Yeah, through the intercom. Yeah.
I will continue to keep on my poker face like I did not hear that. And
Go on, tell him. It's a super good idea. It's reverse psychology.
And I'll tell him that.
Why are you laughing?
I'll tell him that I'm carrying out orders. I'm here working with the crew. I'm trying to. Yeah.
For what?
Awesome, that space coffee looks good.
Tell them we're trying to recover missing data on a weapon of some kind.
It was. Yeah, I can't even.
Tell them to send a rescue team for my souffle.
There was a
chasing after a group of
there was a
enemies.
crew here, and I was sent on orders from GSS to work with the crew, and I'm collecting information.
Okay, so why should we not board you?
I wasn't arguing against you boarding us. We are as
Tell them it might break the sticks up their butts.
as you've clearly scanned and seen that we're dead in the water here. We're powered down. We're currently attempting to repair the engines.
Are you offering to assist?
We will we'll be up and running and be out of your way shortly.
Sounds good. We'll be there in 5 minutes.
I'll close the comms. Be like, okay, guys. So we can put Tanaka in my
Stasis pod?
yeah, in the I don't know what it's called. The victim transport.
Oh, I sedated him 20 minutes ago. He's in a laundry hamper. I'll get that down.
So how closely was it, do you think, that they have ID'd you?
Probably pretty close for me.
I mean, I showered off all of the blood.
I literally
I
jetpacked
hope so.
into
It's
the
been a
group
couple
to pick up Tanaka and lift
I
him
hope
back
so.
up.
It's been a day or two.
Well, I mean, you were wearing something over your face. Or
Was that? I
did
don't
you
think
have
so.
did you have a sticker on your chest that said, "Hi, my name is San Holo"?
My face was open though, and San Holo is fairly recognizable. Don't forget.
Yeah, true.
So
That's
So-
helping us out a lot.
Yeah.
Laundry
Do
hamper
you-
built for two.
Do you want to go into the engineering room and be the crew fixing a dangerous contamination leak in engineering?
he can
And
try.
don't touch anything.
No.
Just be in your EVA suit.
I'll splatter
and-
some grease all over my
It's a
face
good
and try
thing
and.
that-
There's a button on the wall over here. When you press it, it lights up. When you press it again, it turns off. Just do that.
Spam the hell out of that button.
Sounds like a great idea. I will do that and splatter a bit of grease on my face. Should hide the San Holo look.
I'm asleep.
I know.
I will.
She's very tired. Don't wake her.
I'll be the first person at the area that they're coming on board and
Mhm.
attempt to interface with like security or whoever comes on board
Sure.
firsthand to try to explain a little bit more. If people, I don't know where Sam is. Sam, I don't know. No, your character.
Yeah. He's
Is he gonna be with him, or you're just gonna leave him to it?
I think I'd go with him
Okay.
because somebody else is going to be there. I guess. I don't know. They're not expecting everybody to be fucking off somewhere.
Sure. All right. Well, they your cargo bay is currently empty. So your launch bay and your cargo bay are just sort of like the same space.
Mhm.
So your cargo bay is empty. There's room for them to access your ship and land their sort of small shuttle that comes with the commander walks out
Oh wow.
along with his 6, I guess, deputies you could call him. He's armed to the nines. He has immaculate black and gold armor. He just looks at your plate armor and just sort of scoffs.
Oh, he's
Nose-
probably just wearing
nose in
his
the air.
scrubs with a cooking apron over it.
Oh, okay, so
A stained
scrubs.
cooking apron.
Okay. All right.
How do favors work? I guess before we get into this.
So you have favors to spend?
If he starts off the game allied with the
So
GSS,
yeah,
he
so
has a favor.
you have a
with that.
favor if you're allied with GSS. But if you picked 3, you didn't? Or, no. Okay.
Speaking of which, you and I need to talk later about I need to rejigger Emerald's.
Right. Yes. Yes, we did.
Because plot.
So what brings you to this ship? I looked up your credentials.
As I'd stated, Commander, I am here on GSS orders. I can't disclose the particulars in the present company.
Mm-hmm. So with you standing next to him,
Mhm.
like, do you know about these orders or?
I assume he's bullshitting.
Okay. So everything is good then.
I assure you, Commander, everything is completely as it should be.
Okay.
Well, I'd appreciate it if the engine was not sort of exploding a little bit.
We have our best man down there. I'll turn to him and wink. Working on it. We should be up in a few hours.
Well,
Are there spare parts that we could use that we could perhaps like barter or trade or pay for, sir?
I'd be willing to let you have them, as long as you give me your word that everything will work out.
I'll nod at him and I'll say I'll get a write up of the list of materials that we need right away. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I want you to roll plus influence.
Oh, good. Oh, -1.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, 4. Rocking it tonight.
you managed to add a sneer on the end of the sir there.
You may want to go buy
Sir.
You may want to go buy new dice after this.
Yeah, no lie. I've got a lot.
All right. So he says, well, carry on about your business. We'll see the repair crew sent over. And he gets back in his little jump ship and he departs.
I'll look at him and say,
Whew. I mean, that went okay, I guess. We're not being shot, so.
Cue like giant jostle.
So you see out the what does your cargo bay look like? Do you have like actual like mechanical doors, or is it like a shield that you can see through, or
Again, we're on a budget, so whatever the cheapest.
Mechanical doors, like there's no airlock there. If we want to do a cargo transfer in space, we gotta depressurize the whole damn thing.
All right. So yeah, he departs, and you're left to your devices until the repair crew comes.
I'll say, let's get San out of engineering before he does.
That's probably a smart idea, yeah.
Before he breaks anything else, yeah, that's probably good.
40 years ago, he could have done it, but not now. Technology's far too advanced for him now.
So how fast
That's
do you
his
think you could fix the
excuse.
ship?
The actual reason is he just didn't keep up on it.
No, of course not.
If all things go well, 2 hours.
Are we waking Emma yet, or still letting her?
I think it would be bad if she woke up and there were GSS people turning wrenches on the engine.
She runs a little hot. Let's see how this goes before.
Fair point. Fair point.
We want to avoid shooting in the ship.
Yes. Good idea.
But,
yes.
You know, I am concerned that, you know, they will send over some people to help, but they might be sending over some other people who will not be helping.
I only asked for parts. I know that he said crew on his departure. Let's see how it goes.
We want to keep a close eye on them. I'll go make snacks.
Taking the Steven Seagal route and being a chef on board as well too.
Yeah. That's Sam's. It's his personal passion.
Yeah, it's his hobby.
He's gonna go make deviled eggs.
Very good, delicious.
Duck eggs.
Well, they're eggs in the sense that if you look up substitutes for eggs,
Space
Space
eggs.
egg, yeah.
yeah,
Space ration eggs.
yeah, it's like 80% corpse starch,
Like Tang,
but carefully
eggs.
whipped.
Egg shaped, vaguely egg tasting.
So in the intervening time, so it took about 5 minutes for them to get back and forth. So the other one's on the way over. So you have about another maybe 7 minutes before they show up again. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna just let them come in, or are you gonna not open?
I think we should
Open
prepare
doors for
ourselves
them.
just for.
I think we gotta let them in and let them come help, but we want to be careful about
I think we can take precautions just in case they have.
make sure
Ulterior
one of the
motives.
techs isn't like trying to tap into our computer system.
Yeah.
We might want to. Oh no, our navigation data was deleted. We don't have a history of where we've been.
Mhm.
Oops. That sort of thing.
Sure.
Also, just make sure you don't get one random guy that just starts wandering around, inspecting the whole ship while.
Yeah, that too. It's like, the engine room's over there.
Mhm.
Would you like an egg?
Okay.
There's
Well-
a Fury there, put a little poison in the eggs.
You eat one first.
Like mild sedatives or something?
Yeah.
They're just sleepy.
So,
Yeah.
so you're there. Welcome them.
I'll
the
make
next-
2 sets of
I'll
eggs.
wait. I
One
was
special.
Figuring out whether or not to go back. Yeah, I'll wait there to lead the
Okay,
whatever
so,
cruise.
so
there.
they come in and land, and the guys that come out of the transport ship, the shuttle. There you go. That's the word. that land and come
Week
out.
number 2 is
are-
struggles with words.
Yeah, it's fucking
Hey,
so
being a DM is hard.
I know.
ridiculous. So they come out. There's 12 of them,
Oh,
and they're not techs.
What a
They're
shock.
they're in their carapace. What was the word?
Armor.
Beetle, or-
Carapace
No.
armor.
Not
Roach.
beetle, roach.
Yeah.
Roach
They're in
armor.
their roach armor,
Yeah.
and they walk right past you.
Oh, good.
Gentlemen,
Yes,
the engine room is this way. I thought that's a non-conventional toolkit you're carrying, but we can help you out with that. We've got some
They
extra tools.
ignore you, and I said 12. 6 of them break off, and they start walking towards where they think engineering is. The other ones proceed out the other end of the cargo bay.
I'll get in front of the other 6 who are going out in another direction. I'll say, gentlemen, there's been a misunderstanding, and again, I'll flash badge and credentials.
Hmm. Yeah, they just push you aside.
Okay.
I'll follow the ones that aren't going to engineering.
Okay.
San,
With my tray of deviled eggs. Deviled eggs.
San will come with you as well too.
I'll circle back around and follow them to engineering then.
Yeah.
San does have diplomacy, believe it or not.
So the ones you follow to engineering, they just sort of they see what's going on with the engine core, and they just proceed to take basically like iPads on their arms and just plug into various consoles throughout engineering and just start going to town and interfacing with your systems.
Okay. I will go to another terminal and try to roll sabotage, or not roll sabotage. Try to lock everything out.
Okay, you have to roll it plus interface.
14.
Wow.
There.
Uh,
That's
Those are the
Those are
dice.
the die right
See,
there.
I know,
Yeah.
holding on to the rock,
Keep
yeah.
those right there. So how do you do it?
I'll log in. I mean, so things. I'll try to log in and encode things and try to cut off, remotely cut off power to non-essential things again. Like I assume that on the tail end of the repairs that we're pulling systems back online little by little, and I'll just cut everything back off again.
Yeah. You are so good at what you do. They are just completely dumbfounded. Like they have no reason to suspect that you are interfering with their search for whatever they're searching for.
And I'll come back in and I'll just hit the wall. I'll be like, "Damn thing!"
Okay. So you guys, you're following the ones that are going the opposite direction. And they're actually headed up towards the helm.
Gentlemen, the engine room is this way. That's what your boss guy said you were here to help us with.
So they ignore you, and they just the 6 of them take positions at the helm. 4 of them, sort of in the back of wherever, you have your captain's chair. So 4 of them take position in the back of the room, and then 3 of them sort of take stations where you guys normally would, and they're just standing by.
San kind of runs up and kind of gets in front of him. Gentlemen, you know who I am, don't you? San Holo. Surely you've heard of us. Sorry, heard of me. I've played many characters, but surely you've heard of me, correct?
Through this guy's tinted visor, you just see him sort of crook an eyebrow, really.
I'm sure whatever they're paying you, I can doubly match quite easily. We just want our ship working, and off on our ways. That's all.
He ignores you.
He wants to shoot him in the face, but he's not going to.
Would you like a deviled egg?
He says, "No, thank you."
So after they're fumbling around an engine,
I don't know why I try so hard. He throws it on the ground and storms off. And he's gonna go back to his quarters and get his armor and weapons.
Okay.
Question: how would diplomacy work? So I have diplomacy, and it says factions will ignore political boundaries, jurisdictions, your personal relationships, and even their own prejudice when you call in a favor. Does that mean like so?
Have a favor to call in.
Okay, I remember asking. So I don't. I wasn't sure if that meant if I asked a favor out of them, like if I would owe them a debt.
So let's say this Tanaka job goes through whatever. Right?
Yeah.
And like
it'd be conceivable
you've
that
got
part of our pay is we get a favor,
from
Okay.
Tanaka.
I wasn't sure if it meant like if I called in a favor from them, then I owe them a debt, kind of a thing.
They would have no reason. They don't know, like, you not having favor with them or
Okay.
working with them exclusively before, they have no reason to trust you.
Okay.
It feels more like a late game thing. You know, like when you've got more favors.
Yeah.
Yes.
San's gonna kind of just. San already has his weapons on him. He never leaves home without them.
Okay.
He's gonna kind of just stand around, make sure they're not meddling in anything they shouldn't be meddling in.
But they're not actually doing anything.
And
They're just making sure we can't fly.
They're just standing by.
Down.
Okay.
He's just gonna keep chatting with him.
after they're screwing around in engineering, I'll try to if I'm getting like exasperated groans from them and things like that, I'll try.
So with that interface role, are you still trying to work on the ship as?
I was basically shutting it down and encrypting it to only unlock and be accessible by me afterwards. So I wasn't.
Maybe make some passive aggressive comments about how helpful they're being.
That's great. What would we ever do without you guys? We were stranded before,
but now we're saved.
Thank you.
You're the best.
So I'll try to encourage them to. I said, well, is there anything else you wish to see in engineering?
Yes, we'd like to start up your systems and get you moving.
I guess knowing that both of these guys are with the other 6, I'll just keep trying to work on it, and I'll hand them the torn up shreds of Emery's notes, and I said, I think that these will help, and I'll continue to do and try to repair it while they're there.
Okay. So as you do with them, sort of. Are trying to hack into your system, but at the same time, they're trying to get your drive back up. After about an hour, they're successful.
At getting it back up?
Yeah. But with your lockouts, they're unable to bring up any data whatsoever or have any sort of control over the ship's systems. And they're still clueless as to why.
I think in that time frame, I would have gotten my gear.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the 2 teams split in different parts of the ship, I'd go and try to quietly wake Emma up just so that she's ready to go if something goes wrong.
Okay. So I assume you'd give me a lowdown on the situation?
Yeah, and we're going to be quiet. We're going to hang out here, and we're going to see if somebody calls for help.
Okay, I'm going to try. Can I upgrade my... do I have time to upgrade my suit to be armored?
Which suit?
My jumpsuit. Which is what I have on me like most of the time.
What does that look like?
So it's a class 2.
Well, I know what your jumpsuit is, but like, how are you going to?
Oh, it's essentially adding like shielding, but it's like a force field, but it can only take so many hits before it just like completely conks out.
So you're in your quarters.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, I've got my engineering kit. I've got essentially all the like tinkering tool, not tinkering because I don't tinker, but like I've got like on hand, I've got like everything I need for like just some ramshackle like I've got like spare parts. I've got some electronic motherboards and essentially pieces that I've been that I usually just keep on hand at my little tiny desk for purposes of kind of, I don't know if you call it theoretical research, but just I wake up in the middle of the night and I write down an idea and I kind of tinker with it and then go back to bed.
Sure.
So Sam could help her, if we're just cutting up her bathroom door and then duct taping it to her suit.
Mm-hmm. There's a shield for you. Yeah, go ahead and roll plus interface. See how you do.
Well, isn't
What are you
this
doing?
my
If she's building something, I think that's expertise.
yeah,
Yes,
isn't that my
yes,
expertise?
yeah, that's right.
Ooh, that's a 7.
7. Nice.
Could I
Well,
get involved?
What expertise do you have with?
With
How are you going to help her take motherboards and circuitry and?
oh,
and
you're
what have-
doing something electronic. I think
Yes.
you're
Well,
doing something a little more.
Rudimentary.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, Emma that would be her first instinct, but if she doesn't have the parts on hand, if she says oh, let's go to engineering, then you explain to her that engineering is currently
My
occupied.
contribution is not allowing you to blunder into the trap.
What are they doing to my engine? Oh, fuck. What did you do? I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Never mind.
Okay, fine. We'll do something a little more.
So as far as armor goes,
Yeah.
You're sort of halfway successful. You get it's enough to expand just sort of around your chest area,
Yeah.
and it glows bright as hell.
So I'm not gonna be subtle.
You can't. No, it is just they'll see you coming from around 3 bends.
Okay. But it does give me +1 armor. So that's
Could you put a sheet over that? This is hurting my eyes.
Look, I really wish we had dealt with the star mines right now, because then I could at least pretend to be, I don't know, a prophet or something. But it's good to know for future
Yeah,
reference.
that would work really well, I think.
It's good to know for future reference.
So
They're nice people, but very weird.
Well, takes all kinds.
Of weirdos, specifically.
so the so where are you at right now? You're at the quarters. Where are you?
I'm still at the helm with
You're still at
the other
and you're in
success.
engineering.
So
So-
what else did you genius minds who invited an assault crew onto our ship? What is the plan exactly?
Appear non-threatening until they leave. And then run away.
Our options were to let them blast us out of space, or
There was a small plasma venting problem.
I know. I told Warren. Oh no! What did he do?
There was
Okay.
plasma involved? I don't know. I wasn't there.
Oh dear Lord.
Maybe you should write things down on plasma proof notes.
So you get your wish. They you can while you're in engineering, you hear them sort of chittering between themselves and in their helmets. You think not to each other, but back to their ship that's a couple hundred meters away from you guys. They just walk out. And the same thing at the
Good day, gentlemen.
helm.
Make sure to watch
They
my
just
movies.
walk out and make their way back to the cargo bay.
Doctor, I know this is not the most medical profession, but we do have Talon there in the bay, and it is heavily armed. Oh dear, I suppose this would have been a better idea to do when the commander. Oh, I really wish I'd been awake by then. Never mind, I was going to suggest we use Talon's laser to, destroy their shuttle before it escapes, but,
Well, it's not so much an escape as...
we'll leave. Depart.
I would have used the word route. We kind of run here, all things considered.
Yes, I'm sure we won.
Do you see how the ship is all non-explodey? I don't know if that's the right mechanical term.
It gets just across.
Yeah, I thought it was effective.
But what did they put in the ship?
So they're hustling, and they get in their shuttle, and the cargo bay doors aren't opening for them as they expect.
In their ship?
In your ship.
Oh, in our ship.
Yeah.
Open the pod bay doors, Kona.
They don't open.
I will go.
I really wish I could, but I cannot at the moment.
I'll go to a terminal and search through everything, like any of the transactions that have happened, to make sure that they didn't do anything else before leaving, before opening the bay doors to let them leave.
Would that be like an assessment?
Programming? Or, oh yeah.
He's
Or
trying to
expertise? I think
learn
an expertise. Right? Yeah.
Well,
He's going through the
if
systems.
it's electronic records, that sounds like expertise, but
No, it
which-
sounds like interface, right? Or is he...
Or interface.
Yeah,
You're right.
for
Yes.
electronic, yeah.
Sorry. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, why don't you use your really nice dice and roll interface to see what you can find.
Don't jinx me, yeah.
He was trying to jinx you, that's the point.
9, 11.
That's pretty
good. You find nothing.
So it's just a random malfunction as far as we can tell?
What do you mean a malfunction?
If the doors aren't opening?
Well, the doors aren't opening because he has a lockout on them.
Yeah. Well, and I'm checking to make sure that they didn't do anything to our systems before they leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will
Is there a manual override?
I will just bring online the bay doors for right now, and then I'll kind of like hammer at it before
You like
I allow
punch a
access.
console a couple of times and press a button on your.
Right.
So yeah, they open up for them, and they're about to disembark. And I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Another quick
Edit
break.
that out.
Yeah.
All right, back in.
So on that previous roll, when you were looking for see if they did anything,
Yes.
they didn't do anything. However, you sort of, to put it in our terms, you could see their search history.
Oh, okay.
You could see exactly what they were looking for,
Nice.
and they were looking for the stolen data. And you could see they came up short. So, and then after several attempts, it just stopped, and then that's when they left.
Which makes sense because you kept it. When you downloaded the data, you did it to your own personal. I assume you didn't do it to the ship.
I didn't even finish downloading
Right,
it.
and
systems.
yeah,
like that.
exactly. And what Emra did, she did to Kona, so it wouldn't have even been on the ship system in the first place, even if you hadn't locked it out. But it was a good thing you did.
So did we find out any of that? If they logged the ship or not?
I can relay that too.
According to his search,
His successful roll.
His successful roll, because when we so there's nothing.
I'll bring everything back on board, but I'll maintain things as like a backdoor workaround to be able to lock down systems and things like that and encrypt it.
Just on your own, away from the rest of the.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will.
He's doing computer stuff. I don't know. God.
And I'll just tell them kind of what happened, that I was able to lock them out, and I was able to look through everything that the GSS goons, the roaches, were trying to meddle with, but they weren't able to find anything. So.
Emma was too busy making sure they didn't touch anything they weren't supposed to touch. What did they do to my engineering bay?
They didn't
To
follow
really
your
notice.
directions that you gave. Your explicit, and they tore them up. So
Those
rude.
roach bastards. They have no respect for proper procedure.
What a shoddy job they did too. Look at that.
So yeah, time enough has passed. You're at the bridge, right? Okay, so you see as out the window, you see the other ship dock, the shuttle dock at the GSS cruiser, and then you see a small ball of light pinpoint. Launch from the forward of the ship, and it's getting bigger.
Does it look like the same one that like heralded like a ball of like plasma explosion?
About the same.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we can't move.
No,
Oh wait, no,
No, we're
can't.
back.
Yeah, you
we're back up.
Let's get the hell up here.
Well, you're on the bridge, so
Kyra, time to move. Time to move. Something coming at us. Out of the way now, please.
So, do you know? You know the move shields up?
Hmm?
You know the move shields up? Are you familiar with that?
No.
Okay. So you as the pilot. So we're gonna say you're piloting right now because
isn't shields up a move done from engineering?
it's done either by the pilot or engineering, and engineering will apply their interface to it. Otherwise, it's just a straight 2d6 if the pilot does it.
Okay.
Well, if the intercoms are back, I mean,
Yeah,
which I assume like the rest
If
of
you let me know, I'm happy to. Yeah, I put everything's back on.
yeah.
online.
So
Engineering roll 2d6 plus interface.
It's maybe a little too on the nose.
We're getting shot at.
So when a starship's sections would suffer damage, the pilot rolls 2d6, or a character in engineering rolls plus interface.
what'd you roll?
6.
I'll help out since I am also in engineering.
Okay.
Can I like assist in like making sure like helping get the
Absolutely.
Thank you.
and this is also
It's just
interface.
chaos down there, really.
That's nachos.
Oh, there we go. That's an 11.
Oh my
Awesome.
goodness gracious! So that's
Go ahead, you roll.
changes a 6 to a 7 to 9, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's partial
So-
now.
So shields up. On a 7 to 9, the severity of the damage is reduced by 1. So, starship to starship battles, right? Damage is done to sections of that ship. So, like on that starship sheet, there's the helm, engineering, cargo, and quarters. Your cargo bay takes a hit. However, that's the page. It's 147. With the plasma weapon that they're firing from was breaching, so it would have done major damage, but because you have reduced the level, it is minor damage.
Okay.
The cargo bay door has taken a direct hit and has a very large sort of gnarly hole in it.
If you're mad about the door not opening, you could have asked us instead of blowing a hole into it.
What are we doing, pilot?
Yeah.
Do I
What are you doing?
Thrust into the pilot role. I would say we're going to run away in the opposite direction as fast as we can.
Okay.
Unless I hear any objections from the crew.
The problem is that they can track us.
Can we go back into light speed?
All systems are up and running.
Can we, like, broadcast, what the hell, man?
If we're going to broadcast that, broadcast something similar probably, but
I think they
More
made their
radar.
intentions loud and clear.
I mean, I think with the size of the ship, I don't think we can outgun them.
So no, it's the same size.
So
as
it's same
yours.
class.
Same
Same
class.
class,
Same
okay.
size.
Okay.
We could fire back, but then it's just a straight firefight.
That's possible. It's a possibility. I think we're gonna need to make a decision pretty quick, though.
Can
Yeah.
we have some, like, I mean, we could have someone, like, use Talon as an additional, because it's got weapon. It's got a weapon.
I wonder if there's a way to remotely access their ship, the other ship, to
Which ship?
the GSS ship
You
to
would-
disable,
Like, to essentially
Well,
hail them
you,
and then,
you
like,
said
have
that's
it.
what you were sort of working on the entire time,
Mhm.
like during that mission. So
And maybe
I don't
he
wanna- I
gathered
don't
some
wanna
data
kill- I don't
in
wanna kill
blocking
them, though.
those troopers.
okay,
I just want to disable their weapons.
okay.
Except for the whole
So,
ship, so they can't follow us.
Interface. Yeah, interface.
Yeah.
Roll interface.
If you let Emura know what you're doing, well, we'll see how you roll.
Okay. 8, 10.
Okay. So what do you do?
I can remotely access their networks from ours. I can pull in some use of some other like surveillance machinery to try to like boost signal to access their network, and I will fully disable the weapon systems, and I'll start to disable their faster than light travel drives or whatever. Like
Okay. So yeah, with that, you are successful. They're you can confirm that their weapons are disabled.
Okay. And I'll let you know too that their weapons are offline, and I can broadcast it over the intercom too that like let's get the hell out of here before their weapons come back online.
Okay.
So is
Wait.
that what
If their weapons are offline, why don't we disable their engines while we're at it?
And
No, I mean like a
Fire.
little more physically.
Do we know how much time we have before their weapons
To be
come
fair,
back on, though?
they shot at us first, so you know.
Son will be all aboard on that one.
Yeah.
we have a gaping hole in our hull. We need to repair that and get out of here. I say that's
So-
priority.
Your cargo bay has depressurized. The rest of the ship remains intact. Just don't go in there because then you'll be
Yeah.
blowing up space.
Either we can run somewhere and try and repair the cargo bay before they catch up, as they are evidently able to track us, or we attempt to disable their engines with physical force
So they can't.
and ensure that they can't.
This is the first good idea you've had so far. Good job, Emra.
I'm working on
Second.
I'm working on
idea.
disabling
I
their
could have
engines.
turned off life support in the helm. I'd just like
No,
to
I think if you keep the weapons off, we can solve this problem very expediently.
I
So,
do hate to say this, but I think we go with Emra's plan.
internal conflict.
However, the one at the helm is basically the one that's going to decide what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean,
You
we're in
are.
engineering.
What do you do?
San would fire on the ship because that's just what he would do.
Where are you aiming for?
Engines.
Engines.
Yep.
Very good.
His reasoning is, if they leave now, even if the weapons aren't working, they can still tail them, and then when the weapons come back on, they'll be able to fire at them.
Sure.
So did you like essentially let Emra like have the same sort of like piggyback system?
You don't know about it.
Okay, so you didn't tell Emra that
Everything's back up and accessible by crew, but
What the fuck was that?
I don't hear crying. That's a good thing. I don't hear kids crying.
Well, if a body fell.
No, that was where my computer is.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You're gonna go upstairs and then we'll hear kids crying.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
No, well, he was thinking of curses.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And then crying. Yeah.
But the whole idea of this like backdoor channel is being able to make it accessible and not by people more easily. Just like bringing up this like encryption to make it not accessible by folks.
Oh no, I mean it's fine. It's more. So Emma has two questions. Like, how did you know the weapons are disabled? And like two, like, what else can you do?
I told you guys that, or I let you guys know that I was able to remotely disable their weapons from
Okay.
here.
Well, then
Yeah.
maybe you should be working on the communications array as well, because if they can call in help, it won't matter if their engines are disabled.
That's a good idea.
I'll give it a shot. First good idea you've had, Emery, with a wink.
It's Emma Ra.
Whatever.
All right.
Added that to the list of things that tweak Emerald.
San definitely writes that down.
So let's
Roll some dices.
roll some dice.
Finally, I get to roll. We're rolling.
You can use a phone. That didn't work out for you.
No, I'm using the dice. I'm just seeing.
He's
Oh.
checking his numbers.
Okay.
What am I
Oh,
rolling?
wait. I've,
What are you rolling? You were rolling
I assume you're rolling metal.
open fire.
It's open fire, metal.
Yes, metal.
Excellent.
+2.
Dude,
Well, that is a 4, 5, 7.
a 7.
7.
Very good.
Not really good, but
No, not really good. So yeah, you fire and remind me, the outrageous fortune has lasers.
Laser cannon, yeah, on the
Laser
front,
cannon, yeah. So you fire lasers, and you see him impact the shields around the ship, and they just glimmer at the impact and expand out.
That does no damage.
Mm-mm.
Even with the mix, damn it. He gets on
You
the
know,
com.
your aim was true, but you did not penetrate their shields.
He gets on the comms and well, that didn't go as well as I planned. The shields were up and the shot didn't quite go through. Any suggestions?
Shoots them again?
Keep firing, assholes.
Excellent, excellent. And he'll go fire again.
Great A reference.
Roll again.
Can I borrow those dice soon? Jesus. What the fuck?
Those are the dice
can I
that
set
lost
the,
me like every
to,
die roll today at Magic.
Sabotage
Use
their
your going away.
communication systems too.
Oh yeah, go crazy.
Yeah, go sabotage the shield, please.
That was a 5, by the
Okay.
way.
That was a 5.
Let's do
Five,
communication
by the way.
Sit
first. and then
across her
shield.
nose, not up it.
Seriously, who put
10.
you in charge of flying?
If
this
it's plus
damn ship?
interface, it's 10.
He's
Okay, yes, it
he's
is.
discommunicating the
Yep.
joke.
They have been discommunicated.
Emma is going to try and do what she did last time with Kyra
Mhm.
and assist the pilot in targeting
From engineering.
from. I mean, yes.
Okay. How are you doing that?
Essentially, I'm essentially doing a remote access. So I'm having Kona remote access the helm,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm correcting for the pilot's kind of handheld.
My aim was true.
Not the second time.
Oh, not second time, no. That's
Yeah.
true.
And with that, you see another plasma ball headed your way.
They fixed their weapon systems.
Oh wait, yeah. I'm sorry.
No,
I forgot.
No,
My
that's
bad.
yeah.
No. That's you're correct.
Well, they could have fixed it eventually.
They
like
could.
if we screw up for long enough.
Right. No. What I meant to say was.
A new ship came in and fired.
No. What I meant to say was they're launching the shuttle
Okay.
back towards you guys.
Okay. We should launch Talon because that has weapons on it. I mean.
I've got a better idea.
Let me remind you that the cargo bay is depressurized.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and
we
it's,
can't get in there.
So it's got a nice big hole in it.
The
They might
cargo
try
bay
to-
door has a nice big hole in it, and the cargo bay launch pad is depressurized at the moment. I mean, Talon's fine.
Do we know which hole they're angling towards?
Mhm.
Do we know which the cargo bay breach or the?
They're headed for the breach. Well, I mean, they're headed towards your ship. You can't tell, like, I mean, your ship's not that huge.
Don't worry about it, guys. I've got this. So, Samson's gonna take old Painless and his big set of armor and the EVA undersuit,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna go take up position in the cargo bay, facing the breach, with the intention of blasting the shuttle as soon as it comes through.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
So am I rolling dice, or is that just?
Are we waiting on the next
So
fire?
you were helping him with the last one, or
The next one, because I didn't because now that I know
Sure.
that he's screwed up, I was like, oh god, now I have to help him.
okay. Yeah, it's gonna take a couple minutes for that shuttle to get in.
Yeah, so fire again, and if you need, Emma
Alright,
is
I need-
now ready to
She's
help.
so condescending. I don't know why she has to be rude like this all the time.
There we go. That's a 10.
Oh, nice.
Finally. Those
Yeah.
guys are banished.
So the left nacelle is torn to shit.
That's more like
it's
it.
gone. Half of it's gone from the other ship. They're
Cheerio,
you're
chaps.
pretty sure they'd be dead in the water.
Excellent. Goodbye, gents. Nice knowing you. Toodaloo.
Well, Scott.
That's it. No more.
Okay.
So, are we leaving now?
That's your uncle. Bob's your uncle. I don't know what that means.
Nobody does. Not even the British.
Okay.
They just say it because they're compelled to by the Queen.
And that's why we should never have monarchy.
Because they make you say Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle.
Are we ready to go yet?
I would say so, unless anyone else wants to stick around.
Nope.
So you're standing in the cargo bay and you can see this thing like, 100 meters away, closing in.
Come to Papa.
What are you doing? You're the pilot.
I mean, there's nothing left of this thing. That was the
Left of what?
What did I fire on? I fired on
You
the ship.
fired on their engines.
On their engines.
Yeah.
Okay.
So their left engine
Mhm.
is torn to shit. Like,
Okay.
You physically see that
They're not
it's,
going to
like,
be going
halfway
there
destroyed.
anywhere
They're
for
not
a
going
long
anywhere.
time.
And they can't
Okay.
communicate as far as we know.
So this shuttle is still on the way, though.
They have a shuttle inbound to your ship.
Okay. Knowing Sam, I wouldn't want to take away from his fun.
Is he gonna fire on the shuttle?
Are we at a spot where he has a perfectly good shot at the shuttle?
Oh yeah, you can see it.
For normally I respect the sanctity of all life, but GSS sort of doesn't qualify, so no witnesses.
He'll get on the comm. Sam, would you like to take a shot on them, or should I?
No, you go ahead and shoot at the big ship. I'm going to mess up the little ship.
Very good, very good. Have at it, sir. The engine's down on the big one. Small one's all yours.
All right, I'm taking my crack at the big one.
Okay.
Well, you mean
You want
the
the
shuttle?
better
Yeah,
dice that I've been
you
rolling?
meant the little one.
Toast them, sure.
Or
Or they'll be good for you.
you know, comparing superstitions, these ones are due.
There you go.
I'm blasting the shuttle the second I can.
Okay.
Actually, roll snake eye. Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's an 11.
Oh baby. Tell me
And old
what,
Painless
tell
is
me what happens.
breaching detonation plasma.
Oh, paint me a word picture.
Let's see. So, without the effects of gravity, there's no ballistic arc to Old Painless's plasma ball projection.
Mhm.
It just sort of flings straight out and catches the shuttle right through the cockpit glass. So you tell it doesn't fully detonate it until it's inside,
Mhm.
and then like there's the shuttle just sort of separates out from there into a cloud of debris that pelts the side of the ship,
Mhm.
and a little bit comes through the cargo bay breach,
Mhm.
and like there's some little like keepsake that Samson's gonna keep here.
Oh God.
We got
It's
you
like
a
a
new, we
picture
got
of,
you
like,
new
a-
hands.
the-
We got you new
It's like,
hands.
it's like an old like 1940s style like picture of like someone's girl, like you know,
Yeah,
in a little
A
locket.
left hand of
Tanaka?
somebody
Oh.
lands next to him and like, I'm gonna go DNA phenotype this to make sure to see if I can maybe use this for Tanaka. I mean, it's black, but the skin tone can be changed. We'll work on that.
Very good. So what do you do, son?
I think at this point we would probably just head out. I mean, they can't follow us. We've gotten the shuttle ship.
Unless you want to try and kill everyone on this ship.
No
and
witnesses.
and steal their stuff.
Steal this stuff is a compelling argument.
So are you saying that on the comm, or is that just
Uh, Look, we have potential identification issues. I really do not think that if we were in a position of advantage, that we should not make full use of it.
As much as I'd like to agree with you, we don't know how.
No, you could just stop right there and stop. Don't dig any further. You're perfect. That was a perfectly composed sentence. Perfect.
How many of them are on the ship? Do you know?
If you depressurize it, like blowing enough holes into it, I don't think it will particularly matter.
I'm going to go to the other engineer and see what he has to say. What would your recommendation be, sir?
I think that we fared lucky until now. I think that decimating this GSS ship is only going to further put us in the hole with them.
How exactly? You claim to have disabled the communications. Who would they run to?
Well, there's a compelling argument in that, if we didn't disable their communications immediately, they probably run our IFF transponder. They have probably checked some of our identities. Maybe we see if we can inject something into the ship's log. Something to the effect of the captain losing his mind and making irrational decisions. And firing on a defenseless civilian vessel.
Do you really honestly think that GSS cares about one of their officers firing on a defenseless vessel?
Well, defenseless vessels are not threats to the GSS, so that's how we paint ourselves.
There's also nothing to say that they have not already passed on the information that they've gleaned from planet side with other GSS vessels.
That is a good point. There could be others on the way already. Do we want to risk others showing up and firing those large beams?
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. I mean, I'm all for, murder when people...
I am also for murder right now.
I'm sure.
Hold on, you're growing on me.
I'm sure we'll get another chance to blast them out of the sky, but I do tend to agree that we probably should make haste now before others show up, because it could be multiples other than just one or two. It could be 5 or 6.
Emma does a side eye at her own little visor that has the heads up display with Kona in it, just to let him know that she takes his opinion and is like, let's go.
Alright,
Yeah, let's beat the metaphorical feats.
Okay. So you have 8 hours until your destination. You leave that ship dead in the water, and you're gonna go to.
Well, we know we have the data now, so we can head straight to the rendezvous point.
Yeah, I think we want to pick another intermediary point just to see if we get tailed again.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
I'll capture video footage of me convincing them not to destroy the other ship and save that.
Smart.
It's great.
Save that in a folder titled CYA.
So I mean, how when we dropped out of jump, right?
Right.
It was theoretically in this system that Kyra knew.
No, you were still traveling. You were in between. You're just in space between systems.
Oh, okay. So we can.
So
we should probably not continue along the same course, just because.
Yeah. I think we're going somewhere different, but also
Yeah.
not directly towards our destination.
So where are you going?
So Emma recommends. So I happen to know an out-of-the-way planet is an agricultural colony. There's absolutely nothing of value there, and I happen to know how much nothing is going on because I happen to know someone in administration there. So if I think Pontus 4 might be a fine stopping ground for us to get our bearings before we continue to the rendezvous point.
Sounds good. You have time for sightseeing, or
I believe I'll certainly have to go over to smooth things over with administration, make sure that our visit is not logged.
Is it really administration? Is it just your mom and dad? It's your home planet, perchance? No.
One,
Is this one of the
not your
those
fucking
things?
business. 2, also not your fucking business.
Fair point. Fair
3,
point.
those are not mutually exclusive propositions. So shut the fuck up.
San's just grinning. He loves he's getting under her skin.
Writing down in the notebook things that speak Amara.
Roger that, Emery.
By the end of this, maybe we get Kona calling her ever again.
She's all, Kona, hold me back, hold me back. I don't have physical form.
You would find that far too amusing.
All right, so after a couple hours of well-deserved and earned rest, not as much as you'd like.
No.
You've made it to you
Pontus
said
4.
Pontus 4. When you arrive, you see out the helm. It's just a utter barren planet. Nothing on its surface whatsoever.
Yeah, he gets on the comm. Emra, is this what you recall from your last visit to this glorious planet?
This
Or does
sound
something look amiss?
like any superficial human being. You do not understand that sometimes things happen to be under the surface that are more value than what's on the surface.
So you're saying it's good to land?
I'm saying, shut up and let me get on the intercom.
Okay, Emery, have your way.
Lay off her. We don't need her exploding and taking the engines with her.
Sorry, Emra. Is this a good place? Would you like to help land?
Just a moment. And I'm going to head to my quarters.
Okay.
And I'm going to give a passcode to Kona.
Okay.
And it's designed to open up a secure encrypted channel that only works like within a relatively short distance. And I am going to provide in addition to like the encrypted channel itself, I'm going to provide an agreed upon passcode and ask if the situation is secure.
This is all via like
It's text. It's plain text.
Yeah, you see you know, the matrix sort of proceed period.
I'm going to. So is it just like that one word, proceed? Okay, so I'm going to like take the text and like how it's arranged and like the font size and like determine if there's any like secret message within it, either like that is essentially encryption within the word itself. To see if it's like actually being sent, like a double confirmation.
Sure, roll plus interface.
Interface.
Okay.
Have you rolled anything other than interface today?
No, I rolled expertise
I did
once.
join.
Yeah. So you've seen interface things.
12.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
pretty good.
So running it through several subroutines.
Yeah.
You extrapolate that it says, "Proceed with caution. You're being followed."
I'm going to head back up to the helm and tap on the intercom and ask for and I just give a side glance at San, just like, if you fucking like, what's this? I'd like to speak to Administrator Pascal Lobos. Tell him his little girl misses him very much and really wants to see her daddykins.
Stan just breaks out. Sorry.
So at that point, Sam's gonna come in and say, "I have prepared something called a meatloaf. It is a meal. It is made out of meat, but it's arranged as a loaf of bread. It's the most clever thing." What's going on?
We're here to see his mommy, daddy.
Yeah. So
Just daddy.
Just daddy. It's good language, yeah.
I can't help but feel like I'm being made fun of.
No, I like your accent. They do the good.
So over the
This is
comm,
my accent, not yours.
over the comm, you hear, "Oh, Poochkins, welcome home! I love you so much. Thank you for coming home." It's been so long.
Sam falls to the ground laughing.
Where have you been?
It's a long story. Is there any chance we might be able to dock somewhere? It's
Oh, you can come home.
for
Your mother is dying to see you.
for dinner. Just dinner.
Oh, stay the night. Tell us your stories. It's been so long.
I'll leave them in log form. You can read them later. But dinner is fine.
I will prepare.
Oh, please don't.
I will.
No, not on my account. Please have mother.
Expect dinner at 6. Thank you for coming home.
Do you look more like your father or your mother?
Please don't come and try and find out.
We're not invited.
Come on, Poochkins.
Samuel made meatloaf.
I made specific note of that.
He made
Like the other notes, they were metaphorical, but this was written down on dead wood pulp here.
He made meatloaf for your family. You cannot turn us away. We'd love to meet the makers of such a genius as you.
You really wouldn't.
Let me cook for them. I have meatloaf. I also have a recipe for the perfect accompanying sauce. It is rare, not seen very often anymore.
We've
It's
already
called
been
ketchup.
chased off one planet this week. I try not to make it more than one.
The Heinz variety.
The genius culinary master Heinz devised this recipe.
To try to repair some of our hard feelings over the long journey, I'll say that I could understand how your parents would be proud of you. You've become a damn fine engineer, or
Set this feet. Are we gonna hug now?
It's not. It's an interesting relationship. Let's just leave it there.
For all I say, I do agree you are a damn fine engineer.
Are you guys gonna mutiny against me or something? I'm really confused by all of this.
Yeah, this is a setup. We are lulling you into false sense of security so we can murder you.
Okay, well, as long as we're on the level, let's go.
I figured that would put her more at ease than continuing to be nice to her.
So, you approach the planet's surface, and like it's the entrance. Like you can just see this massive. It's not quite a crater because it's covered by these giant doors that separate, and they only separate just enough so that the outrageous fortune can lower itself in between the crack. I mean, it's like you're in the middle of these doors, these two sort of circular panels opening at the center. Like you can see almost not quite to the horizon, but like 15 miles that way and 15 miles the opposite direction of these doors opening. It's just gigantic. But it opens just a sliver enough so that your ship can descend through it.
Like a speck.
Yeah, these doors are so huge. They are massive. It's just like almost like 3 miles worth of metal as you descend through it beneath. So, would you like to lead the way?
Sure. So, as we descend in, like
I feel entirely inadequate.
the as like we get like further and further down, like there's at like the first like mile or so, it just was like just plain kind of metal walls. But as we get further down, and actually you can see that there are periodic points, like at certain levels, where there are essentially blast doors that could be closed at any particular point. Like if this thing was on high defense, like these would all be closed and be increasingly difficult to get down. And as we descend each successive level, you see increasing signs of sophistication until when we actually get to the lowest possible level, it opens up and to this subterranean. It's almost like a world within a world. Like there are these beautiful like fields as far as the eye can see of every known crop, like imaginable, and it's all being there's sunlight being filtered in through the panels that you know are part of these doors are, as far as like the ceiling of these goes, it's like sunlight being refracted in from these like incredibly intricate mirrored refractory panels that like then beam sunlight into the inner surface, and it beams down and produces all these fields. And the outrageous fortune is there are indicators on like the pilot's display that guide it toward this relatively modest pad that's like in the middle of one of these fields, but it's probably about 500 feet off from another innocuous looking small dome. And there are 3 people waiting for us at the pad.
Do you know who they are?
I know 2 of them.
Who are they?
So one is Administrator Pascal Lobos, who's my father.
Yeah.
The other one is his chief lieutenant, whose name I always forget. And the third one is another woman.
You.
It's one of those things where like when Emra knew him, Emra knew him for such a long time, but he had been like a relative nobody, so she never bothered to like know his name. And like since he left, he's like advanced in the ranks, and she's like, oh my god, I can't believe I never bothered to learn his name. And the third one is someone of like similar like insignia, but she doesn't know this woman at all.
Okay.
Time out.
So
Recording.
So
okay.
okay, so go ahead.
Go ahead. All right. So at this point, we're going to chance your advancement triggers. Check. What is it? Chance? Check your advancement triggers.
Okay,
Because
so-
the GM has to be up at 5:30 tomorrow.
That's right.
So
Lucky
with
son bitch.
Emerald, she did get a new trigger, and because at the end of the last session, she knew that she was going to be analyzing Tanaka's wristband.
Sure.
So she would have chosen from the academic track a subject that's thoroughly
I do
analyzed.
have all my factor
Okay.
stuff on here.
That is the case.
Yes.
All right. So everyone from Emra's advancement trigger, everyone mark an experience.
Mhm.
So you were last time, right? The first episode 1, right? You were still part of the party, but you're on the ship. Like, were there any triggers that?
I don't think an advancement trigger happens unless the
I'm
character
good with
is
just
there.
taking this one.
Characters there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the deal.
Okay.
I think.
That's fine.
Just 3 XP
That's how
total.
when I run games too. If people miss it, they miss out on XP. Like as a
Okay.
player, they don't like that, but I totally get that, and
Sure.
I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the best way to handle it.
Agreed,
Honestly,
yeah, I
it's
agree.
simple. Like you're there, you get the XP. If you're not,
Mhm.
whatever,
Yeah.
and you don't contribute to it either unless you're there.
Sure.
Yeah.
So does that mean that only Emerald gets hers? I'm confused.
No.
No.
Like if you
no.
weren't
Oh,
here
you mean
next
like
session,
In the
So-
same.
the session
Your
earned
trigger, your advancement trigger was hit. Therefore, all of us get 1 XP.
Yes.
So what was your advancement trigger?
A
Matt?
statement either starts or ends a fight. Did I provoke a fight with my words?
No.
Well, it's not
just,
even
just any statement.
Oh, any statement.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if we make the argument that Warren's
Yes.
poor role and like his talk with the commander
No.
essentially pissed off the commander enough
Mm-hmm.
to trigger the assault.
But
That is-
was that a statement or was that like a culmination of bad people skills?
Oh, thanks a lot, Commander.
That's up to the GM.
Yeah.
Statement.
Yeah, make the call, whatever.
Was that the? I mean,
No, I'm trying to think.
was that the difference between the
What's the
GS?
difference?
Oh, so was Warren's like speaking?
Yeah.
And like his verbal approach with the commander, the deciding factor between them trying to blow us up and not. If it was, I would make the argument he started to fight, and if not, then not.
So yeah, go ahead, Mark. Experience.
Okay. So, whose was that?
That was mine.
Yeah, you'll pick a new advancement trigger for next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as one's met, you cross it off and you can't use that one anymore.
Right.
So we now have 4 XP.
So
So-
four.
This is 2.
That's
Two.
2 for you. What's yours?
Mine is a life is saved or destroyed by science. And I'd say Warren's roles, locking them out of the system, saved the lives of. No, it saved the lives of the GSS guys who I was going to mercilessly put down as they tried to retreat to their shuttle. That it's a bit of a long shot,
That's
but
a bit of a stretch because when I think of
yeah, it's not direct.
yeah,
Okay, that's
no,
fine.
no,
It
no,
did save
yeah.
us though.
And what did you have?
Well, what about destroyed by science? No, I was thinking about like you with Old Faithful or whatever.
Nah, it's not really science.
Ultimately.
That's raw brutality.
Okay.
Sam's got 2 sides to him.
Mine was an intentional accident happens.
Okay.
Air quotes accident.
I mean,
What's
us,
that?
like, you know, the GSS guys, they should have been able to get the ship up and running, but they couldn't. Like, the ship's systems somehow shut down, and that was intentional because you locked them out.
They were trying to look. I was trying to block them out of looking
But, like,
for things.
But in so doing, because you didn't know what they were looking for initially, you shut everything down.
That's a maybe.
Which one? Read that again.
An intentional accident happens. It's for clandestine.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Hey now.
So I need to find a new one to find. Where would I find
So you look under either of your 2 current careers,
Yeah.
or if you're looking to take an advancement in a different
I'm good
career,
with saving it
Yeah.
too
you gotta
because,
pick an
like I said,
advancement
I think
trigger
when
for that other
when I
career.
Okay.
Yeah.
that's kind that I
I'm trying to
kind
think if I
of
want to do something
help
pilot related.
that helped
just
me in
since if,
get my understanding about the
carries my
like
computer every
architect
time,
of my
or
character
my
that
gear every time,
it's
like,
through sabotage that
Right.
he
Is there
carries out
classes that you
assassination
take
missions
with
and
Exactly.
stuff like that.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't think that would apply because like the GSS guys that like didn't know it was an accident. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I don't think
that's
I don't
fair.
think that would apply.
That's fair. It doesn't seem like an accident to them. It's just our systems are shitty.
Shitty, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that 14 really put it over the top. So
Mm.
Okay. Like, that's up there.
So the level up triggers when we
yeah,
have
you
a
have
number.
you have 4 skill points
Yes.
already, or 4 skills.
Yes.
So you've reached that. So
Right.
those get wiped. Those experience points get wiped away, and then
We pick
whatever career you have chosen for your advancement, you pick a new skill from. So now you have 5 skills.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the thing is the next skill you pick, it has to come from the career that your advancement trigger came from.
Wait a
the
minute.
advancement.
I have,
trigger
oh, you
is-
mean like the most recent one?
No, yeah, the one that just triggered.
Okay.
Oh, so that's where you have to take the skills. So whatever one I chose, like the
Wait, wasn't
starters
his
fight starts or ends with a statement. Whatever that one belonged to, that's the
Yeah.
new skill. I
So
have
we
take
all have to
from.
pick from his?
No.
No. That's just
no,
for you.
no.
That was mine.
For you.
Whatever your trigger statement. was.
Whatever trigger. What did?
What?
Whatever.
Well,
what
I've
are you-
had, and now I've had 2 that
No.
trigger.
But what's your active one right now?
Oh, okay. It's subjects thoroughly analyzed, which is academic.
Okay, so your academic career advances.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I'm going to be doing academic as well, just because my advancement trigger is that, even though it hasn't triggered in 2 sessions so far. We just keep killing everybody or running away,
As it goes.
as you do.
You just need to make that killing happen because of science, and you'll be golden.
Yeah. I just need to stop doing it with gigantic guns.
Well, you do have a bioweapon.
That's true.
Plans in your
That's a good idea.
database, so
That's a horrifying idea.
go nuts. Yeah, you don't have to choose now.
No, I know. I'm looking at the academic options. I don't think surgery would be very helpful because you have.
I have surgery. Yeah. I'm not sure what I'm taking there, so if we overlap, it's not a big deal.
No. I mean, I just don't know how Emma would like role play, figure it like why she would be interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, chances are she'd probably do deduction. Then again, I mean, she might do chemistry
Alright,
because.
so I had a statement starts or ends a
bioweapon.
fight. That was my current one now, so because I have 4 points, I have to take a skill in personality, because that's the one
That's when that is. Yeah.
I think Sam would probably take chemistry. So if you want to do something different,
Yeah.
just because that's basically cooking for things that go boom.
Yeah, I mean, she would probably do deduction just because that just seems more in her wheelhouse anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, because if we want somebody to whip up the bioweapon,
I think I already know what skill I'm going to take. Contacts.
contact. Yeah, that's
You know
probably a
people
good one.
all over the galaxy.
There you go.
That sounds exactly
Yeah.
like something Son would want.
Yeah.
Nice. And you're 2 away.
Yep.
Sweet.
What happens when you max out like your triggers?
You
On
can
a
choose
career.
another career.
Oh wow.
Yeah, basically, whatever you can choose any advancement trigger from any career. Just when you advance, it's whatever your most recent career was. So
Makes sense. It's cool though. That's good. Adds for like good longevity in the game. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah, it lets you really branch out and do different
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, if I can ever meet this one, I'm not sure what I'm going to take next.
You like, abandon it and just come back.
Yeah, I suppose that's possible. I suppose I could just abandon this one, but I feel like a life is eventually going to be saved or destroyed by science here.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Probably. I mean, long enough odds. All right, we good?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit the stop button here.
Sure.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks
Alrighty.
for lying, Chris.